Sony are yet to officially reveal the PS5 Pro, but industry insiders are indicating the mid-generation upgrade is expected in late 2024. If it does come out by the end of the year, it'll be 12 months later in the PS5's lifecycle than the PS4 Pro, which emerged 3 years after the base console release. Unlike the PS5 Pro, the PS4 Pro came at a time when new and exciting IPs were also releasing. Horizon Zero Dawn, Ratchet & Clank, and others all leveraged the boost in performance afforded by PS4's mid-generation update.
Thank you.
The same can't be said of PS5's Pro version, at least not yet. Sony have confirmed that there won't be any new major existing franchise titles until April 2025, although this statement doesn't rule out third-party IPs or brand new titles altogether. Still, it'll surely sting those fans who were expecting first-party entries for their shiny new higher-powered console. Again, it's not confirmed PS5 Pro will release at the end of the year, but if it does, it doesn't seem, on a surface level at least, to be the most optimum window for Sony. No new existing franchise releases aside, PS5 is currently undergoing a chassis evolution, with new purchases for PS5 now the revised Slim version. The bulkier original model is being phased out. A PS5 Pro version releasing by the end of the year is potentially too short a time frame for the PS5 Slim to gather steam. Cast your mind back to the PS4 Pro's release and recollect this mid-generation update released at the same time as the PS4 Slim. The decision to release these two models simultaneously created two distinct price points for consumers, the Slim being a more modest price with the Pro presenting a premium option. Although discounts are starting to become more commonplace, by and large the PS5 has been stuck at the same price since 2020. It's doubtful that the PS5 Pro will release at the same price point as the base model unless the Slim receives some sort of price drop between now and Pro's release. What seems more likely is the PS5 Pro will release at a premium price point above the base console, a price likely prohibitive for many. And where's the incentive to opt for the Pro model anyway? The PS4 Pro wasn't a huge overhaul of the PS4's console's insides, but it gave enough of a performance boost to play games at higher frame rates and better resolutions.
I have come to avenge his honor.
The performance gap between PS5 and PS5 Pro will likely be the same as the PS4 was to the PS4 Pro, but there won't be new first-party exclusives to show off its bells and whistles until next year. So it begs the question, why not release the PS5 Pro in April of 2025? Well, Sony themselves have revised their PS5 sales forecast from 25 million down to 21 million and have cited disappointing console sales in the last quarter. Worse still, Sony's profit margins are slimming despite record revenues. Pushing the release of the PS5 Pro ahead a few months then might be an investor-led decision, a chance for the Japanese giant to recoup their losses. Currently, we don't have any insight into the contents of the upgraded PS5 model. More power under the hood is a given. It'll certainly deliver a performance boost via upgraded CPU and increased GPU power. What players will want to see with all this extra juice is perhaps the ability to consistently play any game at 4K at 60 FPS with ray tracing. Currently, whilst numerous PS5 games can output video at 4K, they're sometimes operating at 30 FPS. Should players want smooth, consistent 60 FPS action, then the resolution is scaled down to 1440p. It'd be amazing if the choice between visuals and performance were eradicated with the PS5 Pro. Although, even now, 4 years into the current console generation, it still feels fanciful to dream of consistent 60 FPS for 4K with ray tracing enabled. Furthermore, whilst PS5 supports games at 120 FPS, only a handful of titles utilize this feature. A PS5 Pro model might allow more games to reach this impressive performance whilst not sacrificing too much on fidelity.
These damn hunters! I told you to stay away!
One rumored update inside PS5 Pro that has a bit of traction is its capability for accelerated ray tracing. This feature is strongly rumored due to a patent from PlayStation architect Mark Cerny, and should it be included, it would be a welcomed addition as ray tracing on current PS5 games is oftentimes underutilized. What's evident though with the base PS5 is that developers are still wrangling with the system to get the best performance out of it. Is there any point to a PS5 Pro when the base unit often isn't even pushed to its full capabilities? Well, there is an argument to say a PS5 Pro, whilst not exactly necessary, could provide a vital form of future-proofing until the PlayStation 6 arrives. We're all aware Sony also makes TVs, and the Japanese tech giant reckons we're only a couple of years away from 8K being an accessible technology for non-enthusiast consumers. 8K TVs will become more commonplace, that's for sure, but there's no timeline on when this will be. Perhaps the PS5 Pro will target 8K resolution, preparing the console for the next generation of video games whilst also being used by Sony to drive sales for the 8K TVs. It remains to be seen if they're going too soon with 8K, should this be a feature of the PS5 Pro at all. Other features we may or may not see: faster Wi-Fi, more internal storage, redesigned UI, operating systems, and homepages. Should all the updates listed be included, then it may just make PS5 Pro an essential upgrade. As it happens, it's unlikely the visual jump with the upgraded system will have the same impact as the leap from 1440p to 4K. Plus, Sony also seems to be riding the coattails of Grand Theft Auto 6's hype, positioning the PS5 Pro as the premium console to play Rockstar's long-awaited follow-up to GTA 5, which, from the outside, doesn't seem the soundest marketing strategy. Ultimately, whether you take a punt on the PS5 Pro or not is up to you. There certainly isn't a need for it at the same time that there was for the PS4 equivalent, but despite developers still not pushing the PS5's hardware to the limit, the tech inside will undoubtedly start to show its age. Aging hardware ultimately results in compromises in frame rates and fidelity. A number of games in 2023 were reportedly plagued by sketchy frame rates, even in performance mode. If certain developers aren't able to optimize their games on PS5 hardware, then maybe the Pro will be the best route to go down. We can expect to see older games receive PS5 Pro enhancements like we saw on PS4, which might eliminate the frame rate issues seen in those games.
Blowing up that last heat sink might have breached the hull. I gotta get inside and find Wandra.
It's coming to a stop!
It's just, as is the trend with Sony productions nowadays, consumers will be expected to pay through the nose for the upgraded system, then potentially purchase a new TV or gaming monitor to get the best out of it. Don't discount the possibility of an upgraded DualSense controller, or updates to the PSVR 2 headset either. It's going to be expensive, whatever way you look at it. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.